How many discounts does USAA Auto Insurance offer? Too many to say here. Multi-vehicle discount, safe driver discount, new vehicle discount, storage discount, legacy.
How many discounts will you stack up? Visit USAA.com/auto discounts. Restrictions apply.
This message is brought to you by Abercrombie Kids, where the activewear is made for every summer activity, so your mini-me can bring their personal best. Summer days are always an adventure, from day camp to rec leagues and pool days. Abercrombie Kids has the shorts, tees, and swim to keep them comfy and keep up with them. Get everything for the entire summer at Abercrombie Kids. Shop in-store, online, or in the app.
This episode is brought to you by Temptations Cat Treats. Your cat will come running for the perfectly irresistible Temptations Creamy Puree and Temptations Lickable Spoon Cat Treats. The best time to feed lickable cat treats to your cat is anytime. Feed by hand for a playful moment, in a bowl for a creamy treat, or as a topper to make mealtime fun. Visit TemptationsTreats.com to learn more.
Welcome to another Find the Edge production for the Premier League Cricket Club. Connecting players and coaches, clubs and leagues, volunteers and supporters alike, you're in the right place for the best of the 33 ECB Premier Leagues and the 20 NCCA counties, bringing you the stories, the stats and the standout performances that make this game great. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to both our Premier League and NCCA shows so you don't miss any episodes. Now, shall we get stuck in? So welcome everybody to Challengers Chat, and joining us now as the boys prepare to jump on a plane. First time we've said that for the Challengers. They're going over to Guernsey for a little triple header T20 challenge. And joining us is opening bat Rhys Lewis. How are we doing, mate?
Oh, I'm very good, thank you. How are you, Ian?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks. How exciting is it to be part of the Challengers group in the first place that is actually getting on a plane and going overseas, inverted commas?
Yeah, no, it's a really exciting opportunity. I'm obviously a fresh face at the Challengers this year, and I'm looking forward to showcasing what I can do in front of the lads and the coaching staff. So, because I'd say I'm still sort of fighting for a spot at the top of the order there.
Yeah,
you know, got such good strength in opening batters, so it's a good opportunity for me.
But you say looking for that place at the top of the order. You and your mate, Mr. Johnny Connell, would love to open the batting together, I'm sure, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, yeah. I love batting with Johnny. He's an incredibly skillful batter, and our games sort of complement each other very well. So it makes life a lot easier for me. And he's always a very calm head at the other end.
Yeah, he might be calm with his head, but his bat is certainly not calm when he starts swiping it.
No, it's a very aggressive batter.
Very much so. You say it's your first opportunity to jump in with the Challengers, but you came to the attention of obviously the coaches over the last year or so, in particular, with some really top performances, including that performance in the NCCA finals at the end of the year. What have you looked at yourself in terms of your own game to sort of keep pushing to give Lambo that kick up the backside and say, "Go on, get me in there"?
Oh, I think because Lambo are obviously very close from the Berkshire connection, and we've had a lot of discussions about. For me, I scored quite a few like fast 40s and 50s and 60s, but didn't quite push on and get those bigger scores. So I sort of went away over the winter, and me and Lambo were talking about that sort of stuff. Go push on and get those big hundreds.
Yeah.
And I haven't scored many minor counties hundreds, but I've been quite consistently getting good starts, and that for him was sort of my area for development and getting that precision about my game, and going on and scoring big hundreds.
And showing that intent from the start, basically, to beat the fielder. And if you're getting 20 or 30 quickly and then getting out, Lambo's not going to berate you for that, is he? He wants you getting on with that, especially the T20.
Yeah, and I've done with the Challengers also training day at Loughborough, like working a lot on white ball skills and sort of how can we hit length for six and stuff like that, and dig out those Yorkers and those skills to combat death bowling, which the bowlers are also working really hard on those skills as well. So
going back to that Loughborough day, that was a great day for you to be introduced to the whole gang as such, the whole group, but you had the women there as well. It had a great feel, didn't it, all day?
Yeah, no, it was a really great day, actually. A few familiar faces, which was nice to catch up with the guys coming back from Australia. and then sort of getting to know the new guys that I didn't really know that I've played against on the circuit and things like that. You know, having such a long day to get to know everyone really well and get some really good training that was competitive against each other under the belt was really nice at the start of the season, and being in with the women as well was really good.
Yeah, and obviously there was that few little games and challenges put out there by the coaches, and I found it quite fascinating that you blokes got beaten by the women in that one challenge in particular. But you know, the rules were there, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. No, they performed their skills really well.
Absolutely. But then, in terms of that, when you went further on, you had those different sections that you were going down. How rough was it being bowled bouncers by Kettleborough and his sling arm? Because he seemed to enjoy it quite a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he found it quite amusing, hitting a few lads in the head, which was quite good fun. But yeah, it was tough. But these are the things you got to work on to play at those higher levels, because the bowlers do bowl quite fast, and that's a white ball skill, is getting it through past the throat.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you find that the levels on that day and with the challenges in general, they are just that little step up for you now, just going up that ladder?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, all the guys there are the best at their individual counties. So actually training against each other is a really great place to work on your skills, and also chat to guys that you don't normally talk to about the game.
Yeah.
But I find at Berkshire you've got all the same people you talk to week in, week out. So there's only so much you can learn, because they've all got the same opinions of the game. Mm-hmm. Whereas you go into other counties and things like that, and you're talking to these guys, they think about the game differently, and they just give you a different point of view that might actually help you out with something in your game.
Yeah, that's because obviously the culture at Berkshire has been driven by Tom Lambert for many years. He's got his skipper there, Dan Lincoln. You've still got Dan there at Berkshire. So I can understand that. They're talking to, pick a name, Reeve Evans from Staffordshire, or the Eklunds or someone like that. You're feeling what else is around the country, what they feel about what's going on.
Yeah, I thought I had some quite good chats with actually Connor Haddock, who I've played a lot of cricket against Connor. In club cricket, because he plays for High Wycombe and Buckinghamshire, but never really had like a great opportunity to talk to him about the game, and actually, he's got some really good insights on it, so it was really helpful.
Yeah, and then you got the likes of Connor playing twos cricket this year. Sam Keeling-Wright's been playing twos cricket. Tom Davis has been playing twos cricket. These guys are all taking it to that next level as well, and clearly that's somewhere that you want to be taking it further as well. Yeah,
absolutely. It's great to see those guys doing well. It's good to see those guys going a bit further on, and it's helpful for me to see that I can do that as well. And Sam's a good friend of mine as well, so it's great to see him being successful at the minute.
I've got to ask, amongst that bowling group that were there on that day and the guys who were coming out with you to Guernsey, who was it that you just thought, actually, I don't want to face him too often?
Probably Sam with his pace.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I find slow balls quite tricky to face personally.
Yeah.
So I think Toby Greatwood's skills were pretty good.
Yeah, he bowls a very good slow ball, to say the least.
Yeah.
And what about the spinners? I mean, you've got spin in your family to start with, but you got big Freddie Fallows and big Connor Haddow there. They're two different types of spinner, but they're very attacking, aren't they?
Yeah. Connor actually got me out on the weekend in the club game, so he must have enjoyed that one. But on the day at Loughborough, actually, I found Rhys particularly hard to face. So
yeah, Alex is an interesting bowler to face, and for a lot of you guys, you wouldn't have faced him previously, because when he was at Northants, obviously he wasn't playing NWCA, but you've got Alex coming out with you to Guernsey, and you've got a great. I mean, I'm going to say it out loud. I think this is as good a challenger squad as I've seen so far, and you must have looked across it and think, bloody hell, there's some players here, isn't there? Yeah,
it's an unbelievably talented squad. Some of the skills that you've seen the boys execute are incredible. And for me, it's a great opportunity to learn off those guys and how I can improve my own game.
Yeah, definitely. I think the nice thing about this squad in particular is that mix from around the country as well. Where you've got Alex Russell from Wales, you've got Eklund from Dorset, you've got your Berkshire guys, you've got Oxfordshire, Staffordshire, Cumbria, Ross Whitfield coming all the way down from Northumberland. You couldn't get a more wider, almost sort of more county-wide, national counties representation, could you?
Yeah, that was probably the first thing I noticed when I looked at the squad, was just how many different counties were there. because I think in the past there's been quite a few Berkshire players involved in the challenges stuff as well. But I think it's only me and Dan in this one. I think Johnny's not there, is he?
Charlie done it.
Done it. Yes, Charlie done it as well. So just the three of us, which is so there'll be a few new faces to get to know a bit better as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's nice to, you're on a trip this time. It's not quite going to Spain for the T10 for a week, but this is 3 days with the boys on a trip. It's a proper away squad trip, isn't it? So getting to know them both on and off the pitch will be so important.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I haven't spent much time with these guys. And I haven't been on a Challengers trip yet, so I'm really excited to see what it's all about.
Absolutely. In terms of the quality of cricket, have you been having a look at Guernsey, seeing what you can see about them, seeing who might be playing, etc.?
No, I'm not too into that. I sort of will get their touchdown and sort of focus on my own skills, and then sort of adapt when I can and in the games.
Well, fingers crossed the weather's there for you and you get that nice hard pitch that you guys would definitely benefit from, to say the least. In terms of your future career, do you see this challenges as a nice stepping stone to be noticed basically elsewhere?
Yeah, I think it's really good exposure to the major counties, particularly like playing games against second teams and things like that. I think those are really good games where you can actually show first class setups what you can do. And if you're playing against these guys, you're showing you can do it at that level.
Mm-hmm.
I think with the minor county stuff, sometimes it's tricky to get picked up by a county from that, because you're playing against other minor counties players, which isn't quite at the same level.
Yeah.
With all due respect, it's obviously still very good cricket, but it's not quite as relatable as facing some of the real fast bowlers and things like that, and the top spinners. Yeah,
definitely. And I think that's the whole point of the challenge, isn't it? Just to elevate what you guys are doing already and what you guys are doing well already, and just taking it to that next level and pushing you to play against the big boys as such. And a lot of the guys are going on to play a lot of second team cricket now and getting noticed, which is a really good thing. You've started off the season, fair to say, reasonably well. You scored a lot of runs already, but you've played a lot of cricket. What sort of toll's that taking on the body at the moment?
The body's all right. To be fair, I'm not known for being the fittest athlete in the team, but I'm feeling all right at the minute. Pretty fresh in the mind. I'm quite used to playing all year round now, because I've done my second stint in Australia this winter, so body's getting used to it, I think.
Yeah, and you played 37 games according to Play Cricket last year. You're at 21 already, and we've only just got into the first week of June, really. With the Challengers games, with the Berkshire games, and Berkshire obviously going further in the competitions right now, you're going to play a lot of cricket all the way through. Do you not feel at some point you might need a little bit of a break?
No, I think actually, like if you're looking after your body well and getting the right recovery and looking after your health and things like that, it's quite sustainable. Obviously, the test match guys have to do 5 days and then have a little break and then another 5 days. So it is possible. I think the main thing for me is still enjoying it. I think when you're not enjoying it, then it can be tricky and everything starts to feel a bit worse. But I love playing for Berkshire, and I'm really excited for the challenge stuff. So I'm happy.
Well, bringing it round to that, you must be enjoying it so far, because Berkshire had a great run in the NCCA Trophy. You got a semi-final coming up in a few weeks' time for that. I think it's on the 22nd of June, I think it is. You did well in the first games of the T20, but you've got to fancy yourselves for all three competitions this year.
Yeah, it was something we were actually a little bit disappointed not to go further with last year. Obviously, we tied that or drew that final. Up at West Brom against Staffs, which was a shame not to actually go and win that. There was a lot of rain around and things like that, and they played well as well. And then the T20s got rained out as well, which we were in finals day for as well. And then actually the toughest one to take was getting knocked out in the semi against Cheshire. Like in a competition that we've done so well in over the years. It was really gutting, but to go put that right this year, where we went and gave Cheshire a bit of a stuffing at our place, was nice to do. It was a bit of a revenge.
Yeah, the quarter-final, you definitely turned that round. You got revenge on that one to get into your semi-final. For yourself, which of those three formats do you feel is, I'll ask it both ways, your favourite, but the one you think you're best at?
I quite enjoy the away 3-day stuff, getting away with the guys and spending some good time together. For me personally, skills-wise, I'm definitely better at 50-over cricket. I I don't. I'm working a lot on my white ball skills for the T20 stuff, and you probably have noticed with my strike rates and things like that, my red ball skills aren't my best. My patience isn't the greatest, but that's something I'm working on as well. And that's again back to what I was saying with Lambo, is talking on about getting those big hundreds. So that was nice to do that in the final last year.
Yeah.
But definitely 50 over cricket, 100%.
And so that will be your number one target this year, is to win that 50 over with Berkshire at Chester Boughton Hall in July. But then, to develop what you're doing right now with the T20 starts tomorrow in Guernsey, and really give it a good go at that level.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to show what I can do at that level. And we had a great taste against Sussex for Berkshire a couple of weeks ago, which was sort of good to get the nerves up and about and play some really good cricketers. So that was a great experience as well.
Yeah, and you look back at that game, nothing to be afraid of there, was there?
Time I was bowling quite fast, so I was a little bit nervous before the game, but when we got out there, it was okay.
Yeah, and I mean, you scored 30 in that game down at, so obviously you guys had the disappointment of not being able to play under the lights the night before and the rain had come. But you got beat by 32 runs by a first-class county with their pretty much just, I'm not going to say their A side out, but it was their A- side, wasn't it?
Yeah, they had a couple of the quicks missing, which was a bit of a relief as well. But the guys played really well, and some guys stepped up, and I thought we bowled and fielded really well to keep them down to 212. I mean, I've played against Sussex for Middlesex, where in a twos game where they got 324 on a T20, which was a bit ridiculous. So I'm well aware of what they can do. So actually, there was a lot of youngsters like Abdul Iqbal. He did really well coming on. It was actually his debut as well, and he bowled incredibly well. And obviously, Josh Lincoln whacked him.
I've just checked, 67 off 25 coming in towards the end. Outdid everyone when it came to strike rate by an absolute mile, and just showed that the runs were there to be had, weren't they, without a shadow?
Yeah, no, it's great to see Josh do well, because he works really hard at his game. It was really good for him to do that and go and show all of the guys that what is possible. Josh
might be a name that comes out your mouth again now when I ask the question, that around that sort of NCCA group that you're playing in, week out, every Saturday you're playing for Wargrave, Sunday you then shoot off and you go and play NCCA for Berkshire. Is there anybody out there you've seen as well, you thought, challenges, this is someone I should be telling Links about, or should be telling Lambo about if I've seen them?
Well, I would have said Charlie Dunnett before he got added to the Guernsey squad. Some of the stuff he's doing is really impressive. He's so consistent, and got such a level head on his shoulders for how old he is. I'd say probably Eddie Campion is a great one that I think should be in and around it, but he's playing a bit of Hampshire second team stuff at the minute.
He is, yeah.
There might be a reason as to why he's not, but I think he's a really talented player and very competitive.
Yeah, but the thing is that you're noticing these players, and it's, we say this week in, week out in Premier League and NCCA cricket, there are some fabulous players out there, but there's just these standouts that just someone extra, isn't there?
Yeah, no. It's quite impressive at Berkshire actually how we turn over the squad, and the youngsters keep coming through it, and they're just as strong as the guys that are finishing up their careers, So all the youngsters come below, they're pushing you for your spots. Like, you've got to keep working hard, keep scoring runs, keep doing all the right things.
Yeah. I think that's one of the beauties of Berkshire and the challenges now, where we've taken that culture through to the challenges. And, with respect to one or two names in there, I won't say them out loud, it's a very young squad, and it's a very young, talented squad. But, it's going to take something to push you guys out as well.
Yeah, well, it's actually also quite a big squad as well. So you are playing for your places all the time because there's such talent around.
Yeah.
People working so hard away at their counties, then they come into this environment and they're playing well and things like that. So you've always got to keep up with the rest of them and keep showing everyone what you can do.
Absolutely. If you look, we'll go the opposite way for you. If we look at some of the older players around the league and the NCCA that you've been lucky enough to play around for the last 3 years in particular, is there anyone there that you look at and think, I want that skill, I want to be able to do what he does?
I probably like both, like Johnny and Dan, very powerful hitters of the ball, and actually Ben Salter as well,
Yeah.
which is, he's sort of new in the side, but they hit the ball a really long way.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't hit the ball as far as some of those guys, so I'm a bit jealous of that. But I have to try and be a little bit clever about where I'm hitting the ball, because I can't just take on all the blokes.
Absolutely, and my argument's always the same. It doesn't matter whether it goes 1 metre over the boundary or 50 metres over the boundary, it's still a six.
Yeah, that's it.
Especially when you go to, if you were lucky enough to be in the squad that goes to Spain later this year, and 50-metre boundaries, I use that number on purpose, it's not the biggest boundary in the world for people who can time the ball like you.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think that would suit me a lot more. And for me, I think that's one of my skills actually in white ball cricket is, identifying conditions and wind directions, small sides, and how I can use them to my advantage.
Definitely.
And just time it.
Definitely be a bit more clever about it, to say the least. What's also great with the challenge is as it continues to grow and blossom now, Rhys, you've got these sponsors who are actually jumping on board. Bulls App are going to be your new front of shirt sponsors, and they're the first outing with the women up in Blackpool. But you've also got Riviera Iced Tea, and it's just great to have that sort of collaboration with people who see where we're trying to take the challenges in the future. Yeah,
no, it's really good to have these guys on board with us, particularly Riviera Iced Tea. I absolutely love that stuff, and she's really great, and it was brilliant to meet the business owner and talk to them and what their aspirations for the companies are and things like that, and really get to know them. So I thought that was a really good day at Loughborough with Fran.
Absolutely. I think the key for anyone who's listening to this pod and thinking, how do I get involved? It's dead simple. You can contact Elliot at the Challengers, or you can contact me, and we'll always point you in the right direction, because these guys are playing games all over the country over the next few months. We'll get outside the country when you go to Guernsey as well. There is a cost associated to this, and the Challengers is a group that can only be for the positive of bringing young players through, in particular, who are just on that cusp of potentially playing twos cricket or even first class. And we go on about it. Tom Hindley's come through the Challengers and got his contract over at Worcestershire. Tommy Sturgis got his Metro Bank contract last year through the same way. That would be a dream for yourself as well, wouldn't it, Rhys, to get one of those, maybe a Metro Bank later this season?
Yeah, absolutely would love that, yeah. Always working hard and doing my best to get those opportunities.
Absolutely. And I think one of my points that I make time and time again, and I'll ask it very bluntly to you put that Challenger squad on the pitch against any of the 18 first-class counties, I'd fancy you.
Yeah, I think a lot of the guys there have been previously involved in first-class setups, whether that's on academies or second team. So there's great skill there. Some of those decisions have been very 50-50. So actually the strength of the squad's not far off.
Yeah.
So I think all those games will be pretty competitive.
Yeah. And final thing for you. For the first time in a number of years, you've not got a Berkshire coach called Tom Lambert.
Yeah.
Does it feel like deja vu having him back in charge with the Challengers for you?
Yeah, I absolutely love working with Lambert. So it's good to have a familiar face as the head coach of the Challengers, someone that I know really well and knows my game really well. So it's someone I can talk to about my game. Same with Dan being there.
Yeah.
Just great to have those people that are stable in my career around me to sort of mentor me a little bit.
Yeah, and from a coach's perspective, it's that relationship between coach and player and understanding how you work and vice versa. That makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It makes me feel so much more comfortable and at home in that environment.
Definitely. Right, let's challenge you for the rest of the season. You've scored a decent number of runs already this year. Let's see where you're going to get. How many runs do you think you're going to end up on this year?
Oh, tough to say. I don't know.
Bear in mind, last year you had your 1,319 runs, which was decent, shall we say? Where do you think you can end up this year?
I'll just go a little bit better. I'll go 1,400.
Okay, and last year, I don't think the skippers that you were playing under thought you could bowl as much because they didn't bowl you and didn't get enough wickets. Do you reckon you can get back to that 20, 30 wickets across the season?
Yeah, I'll do my best. Obviously, I was actually bowling, it's because I was bowling a lot of Middlesex in previous years. Then coming back to Berkshire, obviously, you've got the likes of Ewan Woods, Adam Sal, like Sully Akhtar, Eddie Campion's now there. My brother was there.
Yeah.
Such great depth in spin. And being behind Woodsy at club and county is pretty tricky because he's such a good off spinner. So, unfortunately for him, he's broken his thumb. Mm-hmm. But it is a great opportunity at the same time for myself to get a few overs under the belt and work on that skill as well.
Well, that's the final message we can put out there to the skipper this week, can't we, for the Challengers games in Guernsey? There's no Ewan Woods, so you might as well use a Rhys Lewis and throw him in there with Mr. Fallows and Mr. Russell. You got plenty of spin there to go with all that pace that's going to be on the pitch for the Challengers.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to have a go at that.
Absolutely. Hey, great to speak with you, Rhys. Enjoy your trip to Guernsey. It's going to be fascinating to watch how you guys get on against a side that have done pretty well when it comes to the Spanish trips for the European cricket. So you're going to play some decent quality over there. And let's see how close you get to that 1,400 runs, mate.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. Cheers.
All the best. Thanks for joining us at the Premier League Cricket Club. We'll be back soon with more from the world of Premier League and NCAA cricket. But in the meantime, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review and follow us wherever you get your socials. Or maybe check out our website, premierleaguecricket.co.uk, to stay updated. Until next time, have a good one.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Prescription products require completion of an online medication consultation with an independent healthcare provider through the LifeMD platform and are only available if prescribed. Subscription required. Individual results may vary. Additional restrictions apply at lifemd.com. Read all warnings before using GLP-1s. Side effects may include a risk of thyroid C-cell tumors. Do not use GLP-1s if you or your family have a history of thyroid cancer.
Confused on where to start with weight loss medication? See the lowest prices available with or without insurance for Wegovy, Zepbound, and more at trylifemd.com. 95% of LifeMD patients said starting their weight loss journey was simple. Listen to Tara's story after losing 42 pounds.
You just take your shot. It doesn't feel like you're on a diet. What I wasn't expecting it to do was to shut off the food noise. I've gone from 237 to 195. This was life-altering, and if I can do it, I feel like anybody can do it.
Get your free insurance benefits check in minutes right now at trylifemd.com. Nearly 96% of patients said they would recommend the LifeMD program to anyone who wants to lose weight. Get started right now at trylifemd.com. That's TRYLIFEMD.com.